Yo, what up? It's Eric, a.k.a. Robin, while his friends watching, a.k.a. Thick Steves.
Yo, what up? It's Jeff, a.k.a. Spit in Your Grill, a.k.a. Shish Kebab.
Hey, my name Graf, y'all.
Yeah, it's your third favorite podcast to waste time with. It's the real. Graf, what's happening?
Chillin', man. What's good?
Everything is good. Yo, thanks for coming over. Congratulations on your new project.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Before we started, we were talking about hard drives.
Okay.
And you said you had a great hard drive story.
Great, but painful.
Okay.
God bless Jay Dilla.
Mm-hmm.
When he was around, we were supposed to link up and do some records and shit, right? So we only spoke on the phone. We never met in person. And he emailed me 4 fire beats. And I downloaded them. I'm hyped to do it. Like, oh shit, it's gonna be crazy. I put it on my hard drive. And then I wrote to like one of them. Then he passed away.
Oh.
Then the fucking hard drive crashed. And I never got to record them shits.
What happened?
The hard drive crashed.
Just like
It just
died of natural causes?
Natural causes. The hard drive fucking had a heart attack. I don't even know.
Goddamn.
Stopped working. And I had 4 smokers from Jay Dilla
How did you guys connect in the first place?
through 88 Keys.
Shout out to 88 Keys.
Who did your first single?
Yeah, 88 Keys.
That's
Shout
my
out to
man.
you, brother. That's my
Yeah.
dog right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we connected through him, and we were only like talking through the phone and shit like that. And we never had a chance to actually get together in the studio and work. And a fucking hard drive crashed.
Goddamn.
With 4 smokers that the world would never hear.
Yeah.
Word.
Who can we blame on, you know?
Jesus.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Had to
I don't
be
think that
Jesus.
we're the right guys to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Feels like
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do we want to blame, though? Who do you want to blame?
I don't know. Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fuck Trump.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Let's go back to the very, very beginning. Where are you originally from?
Jamaica, Queens, and Jamaica the Island. My whole family. I'm actually Jamaican.
Right on.
And then Jamaica, Queens.
And what was growing up in Jamaica, Queens like?
Like any other hood, man, it's bad. Motherfuckers get. You know what's sad? Like recently, probably last year, at 12:30 in the daytime, somebody got shot and killed in front of my car.
Jesus.
Like last year, I was like, damn, I niggas still killing each other out here like this.
So you walked out and like there was like
It was a crime scene. I couldn't even walk
Yeah.
to my car. It was parked for like 4 days. Like he died like by my back tire. I was like, maybe I should sell this car. Maybe it's bad karma. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. I know
Dead
this
ass.
is like the least concerning part of this, but
Right.
like how did you get around?
Oh, I have a Jeep.
Oh, yeah.
So I just took that shit.
Yeah.
But the car was dead ass stuck with cones around it for 4 days. My aunt was on the news talking. I was like, man, get your ass back in the house. You ain't see nothing.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Go inside them. You know, I'm Jamaican. She's like, go inside them. You know, they came outside. Go inside. We sleep. You saw nothing.
Yeah.
So
Word.
what did you want to do as a kid?
I wanted to be a doctor, actually. Yeah, I was going to St. John's and I was going to medical school. I was going to be a fucking doctor.
Wait, you were
Somehow
going to
this
medical
hip hop
school?
thing got in the way.
Yeah. Wait,
Dead ass.
you wanted to be a doctor. How far along did that go?
I went to college for like 3 years studying physical science.
Wow.
And I was dead ass going to be a doctor. And then somehow this hip hop shit got in the way. I
Yeah,
don't know
but
what
where does the
happened.
medical stuff like come in? Do you have any relatives who were doctors and you were like, that's what I want to do?
Yeah, my cousin is a chiropractor in Miami. He was actually Bob Marley's chiropractor. And then my cousin is Jack Cure, the reggae singer. He was his chiropractor. And he did a bunch of like celebrities and shit.
Wow.
And I just wanted to go into medicine. Word.
How big was your family growing up?
My family's huge.
Yeah?
Huge family, all poor as shit. Like my mother has 9 siblings.
Oh.
And my grandmother has, I don't even know how many. My family's big as shit.
If I asked you to name all your cousins,
Don't ask me. Not gonna have it.
It'd be
Not
impossible.
Not going to go well. I don't like it. And all her siblings had kids. I'm the only child. I'm the only one.
Yeah.
All of her siblings, like my aunts and uncles, all of them got mad kids. So my shit is stupid. It's like a village.
yeah.
So did your mom wanted you to be a doctor? Is that like
I mean-
the typical like immigrant story where it's just like
Yeah, everybody's mom wants their son to be a doctor or a
Yeah.
lawyer. Be a doctor or a lawyer. So I was going to be a doctor. And it's funny because I was doing an internship in the hospital, and I was like, I don't like sick people.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to do the shit. But I was going to do it because I just felt like I was supposed to. You know, the college student, you go to school, you know what the fuck you doing with your life.
Yeah.
You just do what you feel you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I was doing what I thought I was supposed to do.
So you went to St. John's.
Yeah.
Did you commute there?
Or
did you stay on campus?
St. John's is in Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah.
So I could damn near walk there from my crib.
Yeah.
You were already living there.
I was already, I was already there. I was on campus, but at my crib. Like,
Was there any thought
Word.
that maybe you would go to like another school, another city, anywhere else?
I didn't even apply for anywhere else. I just wanted to go to St. John's.
So your shit was just gonna stay super local.
Yeah, I'm going to St. John's. Fuck it. I only think I applied for another school. I applied for that, got in, and that was that.
Yeah. So an only child growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Were you super close with your folks?
Me and my mom was like this.
Yeah.
My dad wasn't around like that. And then he kind of came back into my life when I was like 15, 16.
How was that?
It was cool because I felt like we were really bonding and getting close to each other. And then, unfortunately, he got murdered across the street from where I was staying at.
How did you find out?
I saw it. Unfortunately.
You saw your dad get murdered in front of you.
Yeah. And the human brain is so ill that I don't remember any of it. None of it. I don't remember. It feels like I saw a picture. I don't fucking know. It feels like it didn't really happen. Even to this day, I don't think I really dealt with it. It doesn't feel like it actually happened.
How old were you when
Like
this
15,
happened?
15, 16.
So so this is right after you guys started to reconnect?
Really, yeah. Right after we really started to bond and reconnect. And after it happened, my brain blocked it out. I went to school the next day and nothing happened. Everybody's like, are you okay? My only recollection of what happened that whole entire week is what people told me happened. I don't remember shit. Like, your brain is interesting, what it does to keep you safe.
Yeah.
I don't remember a thing. To this day, I don't remember shit. It feels like I only remember what I read in the papers, people tell me. I don't remember anything. Dead ass.
Not the funeral, not...
I remember the funeral. I remember the court. I went to court and when they convicted the killer, who was my fucking neighbor, which is crazy. I remember that. I remember wanting to jump over the fucking banister and kill that nigga. I remember that. And that's it. I don't remember anything else. He shot him and his friend. And my dad didn't see it coming. He died with a smile on his face with his hands in his pocket. His friend tried to run and got hit in the back. And I remember the newspaper article writing that shit like it was a fucking comic story. I was like, this shit didn't go like this. This is bullshit. I remember that, and I remember the court and the funeral.
Wait, you mean like a superhero sort of thing?
They just made it a story. That's what
Yeah.
the media does. Like, I remember that was my first experience realizing how full of shit in general media is. I was like, they made it a super story. I was like, the fuck is this shit? This is not it. But
Does it give you, as a 15, 16-year-old, 17-year-old in that time, does it give you an idea of how, like, quick things can turn?
absolutely, it makes you value things more. It also makes you numb. Like, at that time, I didn't feel shit for a long time. I think I'm detached from emotion, period. I got a shitload of issues that I still got to work out.
You know, you're 15. How do your friends react? You said that they were like,
I
checking
never-
in on you and everything.
I never spoke about it until music. Like, Damage is Done, that song was the first time I fucking spoke about it. And then when I listened back to those old records, I was like, damn, I was angry. Like, the way I describe the occurrence is just a lot of anger and aggression. Like, that's why somebody the other day asked me if I would make a Damage is Done part 2, and I was like, nah, I couldn't. I'm not as angry. I'm grown, still fucking nuts, but I'm not an angry kid. I was super detached from emotion back then. Super, like, not in tune with what I was feeling with most things except anger. I understand why motherfuckers be so mad, because you're so mad at so many things that happen in your life. You don't know how to express it. And for me, the music was definitely an outlet. To this day, I don't think I ever really verbally expressed true emotion about it, except for the music. Like, my mom said it, like, yo, you only talk about it in the music. You don't say shit. Are you okay? I was like, probably not, but
So
As it
your
is.
guys' relationship in that moment, like, had to become, like, super close.
My mom's?
Yeah.
We were always close, though. Like, my mom is like, my only child, so you know how that goes. And I'm Jamaican, so just culturally, family, mothers, sons, and shit, they just really tight-knit, you know what I mean? So we were always close.
Did you guys move?
From where we
after
were?
that?
That was my aunt's house. She stayed there. And he got murdered across the street. It was the neighbor that lived in that house. My dad was visiting the dude. It wasn't even beef like that. I'm like, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
So, yeah, she stayed there for a couple and then retired and moved to Florida. Yeah, I'm still on my side of Queens, for real.
So you finished off high school and you have this are you driven to go and live the rest of your life, or like who are you in that time?
moment?
Yeah.
I think I was see, at that time too, you're growing into a man and figuring out what kind of man you want to be, who you want to be. I'm still in the hood. I'm like the best of both worlds. I'm like hood, but I'm still kind of balanced with smart nerd shit. So I'm like in the middle and figuring it out. And around that time, I think I went all the way left. I was all the way in the street and just playing with guns and all this other shit at that time because I just didn't value life the same. And I felt, not my own life, I didn't feel suicidal. I just felt like I would have done anything at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't feel connected to most things. And I understand that now looking back as an adult. Living in it, I just felt more reckless.
Yeah.
Like I remember beefing with dudes in my neighborhood one time and literally being in a shootout and feeling like I couldn't get hit. Like they shooting at the car, I'm shooting back, and I just remember it felt like a video game. It didn't feel like I could get hurt in that situation at all. I just remember that feeling, like it didn't feel like something could actually happen. Shit that didn't feel real. I'm shooting back, didn't feel like I could go to jail.
Right.
Didn't feel like any consequence would happen. It just didn't. I was detached from the shit.
Apart from that, was there any way for you to express yourself? Did you write? Did you like rap?
I was writing. I was writing then too. I was rapping then, but I wasn't talking about that per se. But I was just rapping, and I think that in general was just therapeutic.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
else.
I mean, what were you rapping about?
Just shit that I'm seeing, shit that's going on in my neighborhood, and I guess my feelings are coming out in some kind of way. But it was still witty and shit like that, so it wasn't really emotionally driven. But it was just the fact that I'm writing about shit, just writing. You know what I mean? Like Nas was the first rapper that influenced me to actually want to write, because I realized, besides the fact that he's immensely talented and Illmatic is fucking retarded, he was the first rapper that I realized was rapping about the shit that was happening in the neighborhood. Like I'm like, oh, it sounds like he's looking out his window and rapping about the shit he's seeing. And I'm like, I see the same shit outside of my window. So I started to write about what I was seeing and feeling through the music that way.
Did it mean much more because he's from Queens too?
Probably, yeah. I identify with him for that reason as well. Yeah, definitely. But without the music, I don't know. I think anytime you go through something traumatic to that extent, you have to find an outlet to express it, or you're going to be a fucking basket case.
So where did you see music going at that point? Or was it just sort of like something on the side?
I was just doing it to do it.
Were you graph?
Yeah, I was,
Yeah.
but I was graph from art. I used to spray paint and draw and do shit like that. So it was
Really?
it was like graphics, graph dash X.
Yeah.
I would spray paint and draw shit. Like I wish I brought my drawings. That was nice.
Yeah?
I was just as good at art as I was at putting words together. Like it was, if I got a scholarship for fucking to like the Brooklyn Museum for art, and it was supposed to be like a college credit, but I fucked it up because I didn't take it serious.
You were nice at art and you were going to go into medicine.
Yeah.
Man.
I went into medicine.
Yeah.
I went to St. John's for physical science. Like I was going to fucking pursue medicine and be a doctor of some sort and do that.
Wait, what's something that you were not good at as a kid?
Was I not good at?
Yeah. Like I'm not good at like darts.
Shit. What was I not good at?
Is that true?
I'm not good at darts.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I mean, I can hit the wall.
I never played darts, but shit. I mean, I played a lot of sports and I was good at a lot of them. I got trophies in soccer, fucking baseball.
No, what were you not
What
good
did I
at?
suck at? I fucking sucked at what?
Were you a good driver? Like, were you?
I was a good driver.
By the way, I was so not good at sports, or I like didn't do any sports, that I bought all these trophies on eBay, so I would feel like a winner. Which is like one of my favorite bits that nobody sees.
Yeah,
That's
but it is an
hilarious.
actual thing.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. What the fuck did I suck at in school?
Or in life.
I mean, I'm sure I suck at a bunch of shit. but
Wait. Only child. Were you bad at sharing?
Ooh.
I'm probably still bad. I always hear selfish. You're so selfish, fucking guy.
Where would you tag shit?
On walls, wherever I could.
Yeah.
Bathroom stalls, fucking train, bus.
Did you
Yeah.
put your block as well, or so it was
Just
like
my name.
graph?
I would write Graph X and just highlight it with like a crown and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love that shit.
What was the most dangerous like place? Like, did you hang off like a ledge or anything?
I never went that hard. Nah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when
yeah.
I see taggers do that shit, I respect it because I
Yeah.
never did that crazy shit like inside the train. Nah, I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
that. Y'all bugging, but I respect it when I see it. But I ain't doing none of that extra shit.
Yeah,
I
like
would just,
bathroom walls, fine. But
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah,
Fourth floor story? No.
Nah, I ain't hanging off of shit.
Bridges. Yeah.
Yeah.
None of that. But just walls and shit like that. Wherever I just felt like it was a space to do it. Or really, I drew a lot. Like I bought canvases and then I got into drawing on clothes, like leather jackets and book bags and
Oh,
shit.
that's dope.
Yeah, like as a matter of fact, I was gonna recently too. I was gonna get a Art Basel in Miami.
Yeah.
I was gonna rent a space, curate it, and just hang my own shit up because I'd paint on mannequins and leather jackets and shit.
That would have been dope.
I'm probably gonna still do that. But
Yeah.
I just didn't. They wanted so much money for it. I was like, man, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to make a profit. I just
Yeah.
want to be a part of your art community, sir. But that shit was mad expensive.
So you graduate high school, you go to St. John's,
Yeah.
you're going to get into medicine. You're still rapping in college?
Yeah. You
Is
know
any-
what's crazy?
What?
That's where the whole buzz and interest to actually take the career serious happened at St. John's, because I had a rapping partner back then, right? And he was always like, yo, let's do the talent show. Let's do the talent show. And I was like, nah, we never going to win that shit in this school, because that school was like the rock bands and all the white music was winning. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way hip hop is going to win here. I was like, why even do it? I said, nah. He's like, come on, we're going to win, man. Let's do this shit. I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And we fucking won.
So you guys were a group.
Yeah. Not a group, but a group. We were just rapping together and shit.
Got it.
And
You
we-
wouldn't write together.
Yeah, we would write together. It was like my man. We hang out, drink, smoke. I was
Yeah.
on the block, all that stupid shit.
Yeah.
I did all my bad shit with him. You know what I'm saying? And then we started rapping together, and we won the fucking talent show at St. John's. Then at that point, I was like, hold on, this is a real thing. This could really be a real thing. And then I was battle rapping with dudes on like BCAP, public access TV at that time, and Busta Rhymes got wind of it. He started watching it. I forgot how he got
He
in
does
contact.
love battle raps.
Yeah, this is way before it's like Smack DVD era. shit.
Yeah.
And somehow he got in contact with me, and I forgot how. Somebody at school said, "Yo, some Busta Rhymes trying to be." I was like, "What?" I'm just going to school. I'm not even thinking about no industry shit. And I ended up working with him some kind of way. And then
Where?
I went to the studio, started fucking with him, and then following him around on their tours and shit like that. And then I started working with Hank Shockley
What?
and writing for different artists. I started to get into the music industry without shopping demos and shit like that. It just started to really happen.
Yeah, organic, buzz. Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't balance the music shit in school.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like I was falling asleep in class. I wasn't turning in shit. I got all incompletes my third year because I couldn't balance both of them shits. I was like, there's no way I could do both. So I was like, fuck the school shit.
Well, when you first meet Bus,
Right.
do you go in there and play the wall, or are you just like, puff your chest up and you're like, yeah, I'm just on the same level too?
Nah. I was a fan. I was young. I was fucking like 18, 19. I was still in school. I was like, oh shit, it's Busta Rhymes. I'm looking at this dude, jewelry, all this shit. He's a superstar. That was my first encounter with somebody in the business. So I was like, oh shit. And he was talking to me like, yo, I'm a fan of your shit. Y'all crazy. Da. So that shit was like mind blowing. At that age, I understand how kids get on young and lose it.
Also,
Straight
there's
up.
nothing like a pep talk from Busta Rhymes.
That's what, he got on the phone with my mom's like, what do you feed this boy? He's spitting fire. Word to my mother. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, it was like late night. Like, call your mom right now. I said, Mama Graf, what you feeding this boy? He's spitting fire. Dead ass. I was like, oh shit.
Did you do the patois for your mom?
He said, who, Busta?
Yeah.
I don't remember. My mother's mad Jamaican.
Yo.
I mean, so is Busta.
Yeah.
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 You probably did. I don't know. I was blown. I was like, yo.
Yeah.
She's like, yo, I feeding them oxtail. That shit was crazy. Yeah.
So you link up with him. You go on the road with him too?
Kind of, sort of. Not like an official tour. We would like following him around and shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I couldn't balance that shit in school. I was like,
What do you think he respected about you? Like your voice, your pen, your just like
I think it was
energy?
I think it was the whole thing. Just he respects the bars. He's like a fan of rap.
Yeah.
Him and Clark Kent were the first two people that I
Yeah.
met in this business that they give a fuck about the culture.
Shout out to Clark
They
Kent.
give a fuck about bars.
Yo.
And so my influences early on were great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to come to Clark Kent studio earlier around that same time and just rap. He'd be like, just rap, just go. Battle dudes and just rap and just the feeling was great. They would just all want to just say, just go, just rap. They couldn't get enough of just the hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that molded how I felt about the shit too. Then when I saw it becoming real, I'm like, hold on. Like, this is a real thing. Because I wasn't shopping demos and shit and
Yeah.
chasing. I was going to school. I didn't think I was going to be a famous rapper.
Well, what was your first check?
Probably working with 88 Keys. We did that record, Keep It Gangsta, and his manager gave me a check for the whole thing. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. He was like, hey, I give you this check. You sign all these rights to this record.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that money right there, right now? Fuck it. It's yours. First time I got dirked. But at that age, I'm like, so I signed this paper and take this money right now? That's what you're trying to tell me? He's like, yeah. I was like, maybe I should read it, maybe not.
Yeah. So
fucking 18. I'm
if
like,
you're 18, 19, 20, are you on your own? Are you
At
just
that time?
running around to go to each situation, and you're just like, man, I'm here to work. I'm here to like.
You just
connect.
at that age, you're just working and loving the fucking music, and you fucking young and stupid. It's about weed, liquor, women, your friends, rap. It's like it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a job. It's fun.
Yeah.
So I made that record in fun at 88's crib in the crib studio, and this dude gives me a check for this shit. I'm like, this is fantastic. That's how you get jerked as a kid, because you don't know what you're doing at all. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Right.
I signed whatever the fuck it was. Like, you give me that bread right now?
Yeah.
Straight to the block with this. Peace. You feel like you won at the time, but it's like, people will buy your rights. It's for no problem. I'll buy motherfucking rights for no problem. That's just that's the nature of business.
Were you recording stuff too, or were you just writing?
I was
And
recording.
rapping? Yeah.
Like me and 88 were making shitloads of music. I'm sure we made an album. I don't remember everything, but we made a bunch of shit that we released, and shit that you probably still got that we never released.
So thinking back at this time, you're burning CDs. You're like,
Definitely. Tapes, all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you looking for representation? Were you looking to, hopefully sign with the label? Was there any plan that you had?
At that time when shit started to get real, yeah. Because I signed with 88. It was like a production thing. So
Right.
we were like, I don't want to say business partners. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But I signed with 8 as a, I guess, an artist in a production situation. So at this time, once you start signing shit, paperwork and recording for real and mixing and mastering and learning the business, then shit gets real. And even through 88, I met Kanye. And me and Kanye got cool. I used to go to Kanye's crib and make records.
When he was living in New Jersey.
In Jersey City, yeah. What's crazy, you know what Kanye doesn't know? He taught me how to count bars and has no fucking idea.
You were
Dead
just
ass.
you were just going on for like forever.
A billion bars. So he played a beat and
That's
record.
Clark's fault, right? Because he's just like, yo, keep going. Like,
I just didn't know. They probably didn't know I didn't know. I'm like, I'm just rapping and shit. So I'm at Kanye's crib. We were cutting records and shit. And he was recording this one joint. And I remember rapping for like maybe 50 fucking bars. And he was like, 16 bars is like way back there. I was like, where at?
Yeah, when does the hook come in?
So when he showed me where it was at, I didn't know how to count. I just felt where 16 was. I was like, oh, all right, I got you. So from that, I started to understand how to feel it out with 16 bars. And because I didn't want to admit that I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was like, yeah, that's right. I got this, my nigga. Just right there. Yeah, I know. So then I did it again. I was like, oh, okay, that's 16 bars. Got it. Because I had too prideful to admit it then. But yeah, so he taught me how to count bars. I don't even fucking know it.
Were you rolling around with anybody, or was it just you going to all these places by yourself?
Mainly me. Was I with my friends? Probably with some of my friends, but mainly just me. Like I used to go to Kanye's crib dolo.
Yeah.
Or bring girls, whatever the fuck. This is like back when he was H to the Izzo Kanye. You know what I'm saying? And that's
So
why,
when the tattoo still had to be like filled in.
yeah, he got the tattoo then when I was around him. Like I know him. Like we cool. Like,
Yeah.
were you meeting like GLC and like Consequence and
all them
those
niggas,
guys?
all those guys,
Yeah.
we all cool. Consequence was from around my way. He's from
Yep.
the north side of Queens,
Yep.
but like 5 minutes from where I stay. GLC, I know him. All those dudes was around then. Yeah, I don't know if I met Ron Fest though, but the rest of them, they was all around. Like, yeah. So when I see Kanye go on rants and do passionate shit, like I know him. He's
Right.
a passionate dude.
Yeah.
He's not acting. He's not joking. He's fucking dead ass serious. He always been like that. He used to go on rants back then, like, why can't I buy a sweater that costs $2,000 if I like it? I was like, buy that shit, my nigga. Buy that shit, bro. Like, and this is like, we used to argue about fame and rap back then, because he was like, I want to be a rapper, but he wanted to be a rapper for the face value, and because he had something to offer.
Sure.
But he really wanted the face value. And I used to be like, man, I could have the same girl as Jay-Z with that bread. I don't need no fucking fame. He was like, nah, son, you need the fame. And he just it's just mad shit. But he's him. He's so him. He ain't acting.
What were you wearing back then?
$2,000 sweaters.
Were you wearing like XXX t-shirts?
Triple X iceberg sweaters.
oh, iceberg?
First I was a low head, all polo, and then when
That's
when
where you and 88 connected. Got it.
right.
Okay,
yeah.
I was all polo back then, and then when iceberg came around, I started to trade polo pieces for iceberg and get into that.
Yeah.
That's when I started hustling, getting all into the street shit, because iceberg was $500 sweaters.
Yeah.
I'm fucking 18.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, guess I'm gonna have to sell these drugs because I'm wearing them sweaters.
Was
So that's-
anybody in medical school dressed as well as you?
back then? Nah. In college, I was like, St. John's is a fashion show. It was probably me and this other dude that were like competing for the #1 cool guy space. We were like rivals. All the girls were like, why y'all don't like each other? Fuck that nigga. You fly to me.
Well, what'd your mom thinking this whole time too? Because like I'm sure she was like, my son is going to medical school and he's going to be a doctor, and then you're like, I am gonna go hang out with Busta and 88 and Kanye.
She looked at it as failure at first.
Did you tell her?
Nah,
yeah.
I just couldn't.
You let it be a surprise.
Yeah, a rude awakening as surprise. She was not feeling that shit at all in the beginning. She was tight because she used to brag about, oh, my son's going to St.
bet.
John's. He's a college student and blah, blah, blah. I had my first car. I'm driving to campus, all this little fake bougie shit. I'm fresh out the hood and bringing all these ghetto niggas to my school and all that. But I was doing well. My grades was always good. Like, I was just always a smart kid. So she was proud of that. I used to brag about that. And my mom's a hairdresser, so she's around nothing but women bragging about her son that's going to school to be a doctor and shit. And then I drop out and I do music, and then you don't make any money with music for mad long.
But you also don't make money as a doctor for mad long. So, same
See?
sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm
You
still
should have
saving.
told Grass mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
I should have
see?
been your lawyer.
Yeah, right? You about to call right now, like, look, mom.
Yeah.
But-
Jeff would be like Busta on the phone.
Yeah, right.
So okay, so you're running around with everybody. What is the first time you're just like, yo, past that first like 88 Keys check, what's the first time you're like, yo, I think my message is really resonating with people, or like, yo, people really fuck with me just like they fuck with like all these other professionals?
After it was after the Busta, after the Kanye, after the 88. It was when K Slay started to play my shit. I got down with Black Hand. They were always in my life. Like Chaz, shout out to Chaz, rest in peace. He's
Yeah.
a legendary dude.
Yes.
After they came into play, and then business wise, because they was always around, but we never did business. So once it became business and we started to actually push music, because even back then DJs weren't trying to play a new artist.
Right.
I had a few freestyles that the same ones that buzzed. Then some DJ were like, well, can you put somebody else on it and I'll play it? I'm like, why? It's the same shit. Just fucking me. Just play it. See what happens. And that's why I have to commend K Slay, because he was the first person to just say, oh, it's hot, I'm playing it. And he played that shit on the radio and the city went fucking crazy. The first one he played, that shit, the jails went crazy, the city went crazy. Then he started putting them on his tapes, and that shit started this whole inertia, snowball shit, and it went retarded.
So how did your music get to Slay in the first place?
Somebody that Chaz knew brought it to him, and then Slay heard it and liked it. So I fuck with it. I'm playing it. There was no politics. He's just like, I'm playing the shit, and that shit went crazy. Like dead ass. The first one he played was crazy. I remember first hearing myself on the radio. It was nuts.
So you waited up and like listened to the whole
absolutely.
show?
Yeah, like Wednesday
Absolutely.
night, Hot 97.
He played that shit, and me and my niggas is outside, car door open. That shit played. It felt surreal. I'm like, oh
Life-changing.
shit, I'm on a fuck dead ass. It was
Yeah,
like,
no, for real.
life changing. When you first hear your voice on the radio, it's like, this is really happening. But you know, it's so funny. It was like a 4-minute freestyle. The first 2 minutes, I felt nothing because I'm nuts. So I was empty, just like, oh shit, I'm on the radio. And then towards the end of the shit, I was starting to feel like, oh shit, I'm on the radio.
Yeah, but it's also like, a lot of competing emotions,
Yeah, absolutely. So,
But that's your first time freestyling on the radio?
that's the first time with my voice being heard on the radio.
Yeah, but when you're up there, right? Because you recorded it at Hot 97, right?
Nah, I recorded it in the studio, sent it a freestyle.
Got
done.
it.
My first time I got on the radio was like college radio. I went with Kanye and Killer Touch. You know Killer Touch?
Yeah,
of course.
That's the homie. Yeah, he brought me and Kanye to some college radio, and we was going crazy up there. And then when I started to go to radio with Slay, I brought Kanye there too to Hot 97 to freestyle and shit. He actually freestyled the fuck is that? The Gold Digger record.
Really?
Yeah, back then.
That's wild.
I brought him up there. Yeah, Kanye's a rapping ass dude too.
No, for real.
Don't get it
Yeah.
confused. Like when his jaw was wired,
Yeah.
and he couldn't even talk, he would still call me and mumble 100 bars. Dead ass, like, yo, listen to this verse.
And you're like, yo, 16's back there.
Yeah.
Like,
That was good.
Dead ass though. He would call and just spit, jaw wide, still rapping new verses to me. Like he's a rapping ass rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's a rapper. Dead ass.
How about when Kanye? Do you remember when he did the remix for "Can't Tell Me Nothing"? Mm-hmm. And he was just like, he referenced K Slay, and he was like, "Cause K slayed him," you know?
Oh yeah.
That was
See?
fire.
He's on his shit. He's on his shit.
Yeah.
He's a rapper. I respect the culture. I'm like about this shit, man. Like I care about the culture and hip hop and where it's going and what it means to people. I just give a fuck.
Yeah. So okay, so you're working real hard at getting your music in different places and being on the radio, and you finally get on the radio. Are you also touching stages around the city?
Yeah, I started doing shows and stuff.
Where at?
Mostly colleges and like small clubs, spots in the hood. Because at that time, I don't know the business, and I didn't really want to be famous in the beginning. I just wanted to fucking rap.
Yeah.
I really just wanted to rap. I didn't want the fame. It took me a while to really say, okay, you got to be. It comes with it.
Well, in the model of like who was somebody who was like a rapper that you respected that maybe didn't get his due and like wasn't famous
now or then.
back then.
Well, believe it or not, back then, you know who I was listening to? Royce and M on college radio.
Wow.
They were not famous. Like
Yeah.
Stretch and Bobbito type of shit. The underground. I was listening to Royce. I was listening to M. I thought they were fucking like gods. I was listening to Natural Elements.
So you just
And they went to my
syllables.
school. Remember Natural Elements?
Yeah.
They went to St. John's too.
So you
I was like on this rap underground shit. So that's what I was listening to. They weren't famous at all.
Yeah, so double entendres, triple entendres, like fucking
All that shit.
As many
Yeah.
syllables as you can put in there.
That's where like my style was born. Like listening to them and early Nas and Jay, and I wasn't even into Tupac then, and then later Biggie. But those
Did
were
you
my
choose
influences.
sides during the? I mean, Tupac and Biggie. I guess
Yeah.
obviously everybody chose sides, but like during Jay-Z and Nas, did you choose sides?
Because we stopped listening to Nas during that whole
word?
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who are we?
Yeah,
Like,
like,
we're just like,
yeah,
yo,
nobody-
fuck Nas. Like, like, not even gonna like, if his shit comes on the radio, like, change it. Like, you know.
Nah, I didn't choose sides. I was in both of them, but I was rooting for Nas because he's from Queens.
Right,
but
Yeah.
right.
Jay influenced my style just as much as Nas. I was into them dudes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
just picking they shit apart and learning how to formulate who I was through listening to them guys. They were great to me. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really choose sides then. I was just enjoying the music and the battle and just the essence of it.
Yeah.
And putting myself in their shoes. Like if I was him, I'd have done this, or if I was him, I'd have said this. 'Cause
Yeah.
at this time, I'm ready for war. I'm like,
Yeah.
somebody say my name, please, so I can kill one of you niggas. So I'm like that at this time. So I wasn't really choosing sides.
What other artists were around you back then? Like, in terms of like on those shows, like on different stages.
Wow, who the fuck was around then? Probably nobody that I can remember then. But a little later, like Cassidy, Papoose,
Saigon, maybe.
Saigon was around. All the early lyricists
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
New York. Joe Button.
Yep.
Who else?
What was your first time meeting Joe like?
Kind of bad because at that time everybody's like, oh, he jacked your style and all this
Yep.
shit. So then we had this little bullshit rivalry, but it wasn't beef. It was just like rap
Yeah.
shit. And what made it bad for me is because the label I was at, Sony, they signed me because they felt, oh, he's so original. And then they said, well, if somebody else sounds like him, he's not that original anymore. So if the deal wasn't done already, they wouldn't have signed it. So I was furious. I'm like, hold on, I lost the deal because of this shit? That's really how they was on it. They was like, well, if somebody else sounds like you, then what do we need you for?
Who signed you at Sony?
Dave McPherson.
And how did that come to be?
I was on fire.
Yeah.
It was me and 50, the hottest in the city at that time.
Queens.
So I was like a bidding war. Like I was turning down deals and shit. And they just offered me a shitload of money. And I was so young. I was like, $500,000? Great. Where do I sign? They outbid everybody at that time.
Yeah. And so did you you went to all these meetings, Chaz was with you.
Yeah.
Were there any close competitors to Sony? Like
At that time, I think Capitol, but Sony offered the most bread and sold the most dreams. Like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And they didn't do shit.
were there
But
any black executives?
Then, no. After Dave McPherson, Eric Nix took that position, I believe. But not that I recall in that building. Plus, remember, I'm new to the business. I didn't
Yeah.
know a lot of shit. So I'm learning what's what, who's who, and all of this shit.
Yeah.
So that's my first impression was not black executives. But were they? I don't know. I don't want to misquote anybody. I just know he was in the hot seat. What is Dave? He's mixed, I think, though.
I don't know.
I don't fucking know. Maybe he's white. I don't know. But I know Dave. I think Eric Nix took that position after he got fired. He got fired for some fucking scam shit. So
And being up there, was that like, a dream come true even before anything else would happen?
yeah, I
just
mean,
like,
to get a
being in
record
the
deal,
building? Yeah.
to get a record deal at that time, especially the size deal I got, was great. And I was on fire at that time. Like, I mean, that was my first taste at being number one at something. Like at that time, I was the number one guy in the street on the mixtape. It was me and 50. In terms of like the mixtape, the lyricist, I was the number one dude. And that's when I learned, like, people talk this number one shit. You don't want to be number one. That shit was real hard to become number one, and what was harder than that to stay number one.
Stay number one?
Yeah.
People talk this number one shit. Motherfuckers is not built for number one. That shit was fucking difficult.
So that means that every DJ is hitting you up. That means you're doing appearances, spot dates, like
Everything. Life
Yeah.
is different when you're number one. And
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it is, I don't care if you're number one racquetball player. Like, shit is different when you're number one, dog. It's just different.
What do your friends think when you're number one?
I mean, everybody's happy. Everybody's on cloud nine. Everybody wants to see you stay
But
there.
you just felt like there were a lot of people like coming at you because you were.
Yeah, and I had to outwork myself to stay number one.
Yeah.
Because people want that spot. Number one is a real small spot. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I was busting my ass to stay there. You know what I mean? I was working my ass off, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
But it's just work.
So-
I feel I'm built to be number one at whatever the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
But in general, human beings in general are not built to be number one at whatever the fuck it is. They just think they are until they get there. You're like, oh, this shit is real. I ain't know it was gonna be like this. That's what you asked for. That's what you asked for. You gotta really know what you asked for in this life, because you will get that shit.
You get in the
Word.
building, do things change?
Yeah, I mean, we got a shitload of bread. That was the first thing. So when you get two things that change. One, when you get a lot of money and you're young, you realize that, at least in urban schools, they don't teach you what to do with money. You don't learn what to do with money. You think you know what to do with money until you actually have a fucking bag in your hand. Oh, I'm going to open a laundromat. I'm going to invest in these stocks. Yeah, but you didn't learn shit about stocks in school. You got to learn how to boss up on your own. Nobody teaches you what to do with money. They teach you how to go fill out an application and go be a fucking employee. They don't teach you how to be a boss. So once you get enough money to hire and be your own boss, you're like, what the fuck do I do now? I had to figure that shit out quick. I made a shitload of mistakes, but I tried. I tried to invest in mutual stocks, and I bought a house. I went and fucking leased this big stupid Hummer. That was the worst investment ever.
That was a mistake.
Yeah. But I didn't know better because I'm just figuring this shit out on my own. Nobody's guiding me financially as to what to do with $100,000.
Yeah. Well,
And I'm
what
fucking
was Chaz
18,
saying at the
19.
time?
He was saying, go get the truck. Fucking get it.
Because like, the money's going to keep coming. and
Yeah,
so,
it feels like a faucet turned on is never going to stop.
Yeah.
You don't know, and you just, he was learning as well too. We learned together, but he was, of course, a wise, older person, period.
Yeah.
But in terms of the music shit, we were both learning. You know what I'm saying, as we went along and shit. So we didn't know what to fucking actually do or what to actually ask for. Like at that time, you know how many records I wrote for people and did not get my publishing? Because we didn't really know what we were doing. I wrote a shitload of records for people and got jerked crazy.
Really?
Yeah. You know what record I wrote on that was big as shit? Remember that J-Lo and LL song, that all I love is all I have? Me and another writer wrote that whole shit in my studio. And I was on the record at first, and they took me off the fucking song and put LL on it.
Queens.
Yeah, Queens.
How does that come to be though? Are you're aware of where it's gonna go?
Not at all. We just write. I don't know if we knew it was for J-Lo. We were just writing a song to shop, to sell.
Yeah.
So when they took it, what did we know it was for J-Lo? I don't remember. But when I was so focused on the fact they took me off the record, I didn't fight for the fact that I wrote the rest of the shit too.
Yeah.
So I didn't get any credit. And there's a shitload of records like that at that time I wrote or had a hand in writing, then I didn't get any publishing.
You just take
for.
that L?
LL.
Yeah, the double L.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But do you just think that's the way of the world?
The nature of business is people will pay you to keep you stupid. And people will use you for your energy, and you got to figure that shit out on your own.
Yeah.
And let
they
somebody
gave you something just to.
Well,
Yeah. I mean,
they
that's the
they didn't pay me for that particular work, but they just did other shit to pacify it, and it's like, go away.
Yeah. It's sort of like the same thing that happened with like TLC, where it's just like, hey, like, you know, I know you want the check that we've been promising you, but here's a car. And it's like, sure, it's not really the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. But I do need to drive somewhere. So.
Yeah.
And I'd rather be paid in information any day, because that is what they keep from you. People will use you for your energy and hide information and give you a bag. Fuck your bag. The money is in information. Nobody's trying to share that with you. They be like, here, take this money though. You know what I'm saying? So you learn that as you go along, but you have to figure that out on your own. So I figured that out, but way later, years later, I was like, oh, y'all abusing me here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Using me for my energy and resources and influence, and then be like, all right, cool, we good.
In that time, you do understand your talents, though, right?
Definitely.
You understand like how dope you are as a writer, how
Yes.
dope you are as a spitter. You know that like you are the full package.
I knew that.
Do you think that your biggest competition beyond the industry was yourself? Or
Absolutely. I got in my own way like a motherfucker, because I was so sure of myself and so cocky and so confident and so at lack of actual information and understanding the business, I just fucked up a lot of shit. Relationships, opportunities. I was just too into the fact that I was capable to do whatever.
So if you get approached to change your product, if someone from the label or someone from management or a friend or someone you just meet who's another writer, they come through and they're like, hey, maybe you should switch it to this. Are you so heady that you're just like, you're headstrong, that you're like, no, we're going to keep it my way, and that held you back? Or do you think you were open to collaboration and maybe that held you back?
I
think
think
that you should have been more headstrong.
I think I was more headstrong then and not open to a lot of shit. I felt I knew it all, but I didn't. But and as a matter of fact, I went through that. The label was trying to change my sound and do different things, and they were going too far left of who I was, who I already painted myself to be, and who I wanted to go into.
Who did they want you to sound like?
They wanted me to work with like B2K and shit like that. I was like, wow, no, I'm not doing that.
That would have been a very different.
That would have been a different graph.
Yeah,
a graph that we were not gonna be fucking with.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing that. Fuck off. So it was like, now I'm the one that's hard to work with. But
You get painted as that.
yeah, because I knew what I wasn't. I didn't know exactly what I was going into, but I damn sure knew what the fuck I wasn't gonna be. I was like, I ain't gonna be that.
Were you afraid that you had to answer to people back home who were just like, yo, you're switching up? Like, what if you did jump on that song and you're like, no, I'm the same person, but I'm just trying to.
Yeah, how close to the block were you when you were on?
I was still in the street. I'm still in the street now. But I wasn't really concerned what anybody would say. I was more concerned what I thought. I thought that shit was trash, and I wasn't fucking with that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing anything with them dudes. Like, that's not my lane. So I knew my lane. Even when I was trying to be more commercial later on in career, I knew I wanted commercial success as well.
Yeah.
Like, my fans only want me to fucking rap. Spit 1,000,000 bars, fuck a song. They don't really care. Me as an artist, I wanted to have the commercial success as like a fab or whatever the fuck. I wanted to be that. Like, all the way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because you want something for all the stuff that you're putting out, right? Like, you don't just want the respect. Like, the respect goes a certain, distance.
After a while, you want the fame, the accolades, you want the awards, you want the plaques, you want all the same shit your competitors have.
Magazine
So
covers.
all that shit. You're still competing for the same space as these people. You're still staying next to them in the club. You're still in the studio with them. You still want to feel.
And it's like, I've been doing as much as you guys, but you don't get as much for it. So I totally empathize
more,
that. Yeah,
because we were kind of like blackballed a little bit at that time.
Right.
So it's like, I'm working 3 times as hard just to stay as relevant.
Well, when did that? Because I know that you felt like 50 had sort of like, because of his relationship with Chaz, like that sort of leveled your career at a certain place.
Kind of, but it's not. I don't. This is my personal opinion. The hood used to say that, oh, he's blackballing y'all, shutting y'all down. I don't know if that's to be true or not, but I know because of the perception, what people thought, what people seen energy-wise between whatever they thought was what caused a lot of disconnect and a lot of the blackball and shit. So they were like, okay, something's going on with 50 and them. I don't know what it is, but we just not fucking with them. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So it's not about 50 doing anything directly. It's just people's perception.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, if there's any kind of issue, we don't understand it, we don't want to understand it, just fuck them dudes. And that's just kind of what it was. So
Did you
I had
have
to
any
deal with that.
relationship with Ja on the other side of things?
Yeah, we was cool. We weren't like super close.
Right.
Like, but we were cool. I worked with Irv and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I never worked with Ja, but I know I did records with Irv and shit. But
yeah. Actually, we didn't even get, so you knew Chaz from just like being around the way. But how did you pick him as your manager?
I think it just grew into that shit, man. Because Chaz was always just close to me, and it just grew into that. He was always doing the music shit. I wasn't chasing music in a real way. I was going to school.
Yeah.
And then when I realized this shit is real, I started to take it serious. Like, after you start making money from it, and I mean, it's always a dream, but it was just a dream. I was going to school for other things. It grew into that shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Chad he was always more like a father figure than a manager.
Yeah.
So we just grew like that. You know what I'm saying?
When you were signed to your deal, was there any part of you that was like, I understand the idea of putting free content out there?
I over understood that, which means I wasn't selling shit. I wasn't making money because everything was free. I was just dumping freestyles and doing all this free shit. So we weren't capitalizing financially off the music, but I was hot as shit.
Yeah.
Hella content, no money.
Would that mean more live shows though? Like, put more content out there, it gets more attention, and then
you
like,
get it on the back end.
Yeah.
To an extent, yeah. But just the business part, the metadata and the fucking actual publishing and all the things that the intellectual property wise, that where you actually make money in this business, that was happening.
Well, you also came
Everything
around
was
at like a
fucking
weird
free.
time because it was like the end of mixtapes into the beginning of the internet.
Yeah.
And so it's like a lot of just like,
Were you heavy on MySpace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear MySpace Jump Off, that song?
yeah.
So who was in your top 8? Do you remember?
I don't know. Probably girls and friends.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah,
that
Tom.
Yeah, Tom.
shit. Oh, Tom was the homie. But let me say this though. I made a song called MySpace Jump Off, just fucking around.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't even serious. I made a whole nother song on that beat, and I did MySpace Jump Off as a joke. And my man was like, "Nah, put this one out. Fuck the other one you're doing this beat. Put this out." And I was like, "Nah, man, I'm not even serious." I was playing, but I
Yeah.
understood the power of MySpace, and that shit blew the fuck up.
Well, isn't that like Mims too, right? Mims was just like, okay, I'm doing this, this is why I'm hot, as like me joking on it, and then
Yeah.
it's like that becomes your defining.
Right.
Yeah. To the
Piece
point
of
that we
art.
saw him perform that 3 times in a row.
Yeah,
You know.
in
That was
Long
a big
Island.
ass record for him.
It was
Yeah,
a huge
huge.
record.
Right.
Yeah. So you're recording, you're putting it out, you're touching stages.
Mm-hmm.
You're feeling like the label's not connecting with your vision.
I wasn't signed with the MySpace shit, but I just did that.
No,
That
no,
was
sure.
After Sony, I don't fucking remember. Damn. Yeah, go ahead though.
But in that time too, there's this idea of if you're independent, you're not legit.
Right.
How much did that weigh on your soul?
Um,
If the major doesn't work out, are you like, well, shit, we got to get on another major?
what's crazy is that I was fortunate enough to have a lot of opportunities. Like my first deal with Sony, when that folded, I was not independent for too long. Then I ended up going to Rockefeller. No, was it Rockefeller? Yeah, we went to Rockefeller. That folded. Then we went to Def Jam. That folded. Then we went to Koch. So it was independent, but it was still, we still were like in a situation, in a building. So because I always worked my ass off.
Yeah.
I always overdid it. Like
Yeah.
whatever the fucking the standard is, I always went way beyond that shit work wise. So I always was relevant and always was a part of the curve when it changed, or I was always in it because I worked so fucking hard.
Was
You know what I'm
Lenny
saying?
S your way into Rockefeller?
Nah, Dame was.
Dame was.
Dame signed us. Yeah, Dame Dash signed us to rock. Me and Kanye at that time. We went at the same time. I think Nori went with us too at that time, but it was me and Kanye went to the Rock together at that time.
And
To
that
Dame.
means that you were at Baseline
Yep.
and you were amongst everybody.
Yep. All that shit.
Where would you fit in? Like, because there's clear like delineations where it's like these are the state property hours.
Mm-hmm.
These are like the J hours. These are the diplomat hours. What would you be doing at Baseline?
I didn't get a chance to actually fit in before the deal was over. I wanted to tour with them and mingle with them and all that shit. I didn't get to build really with any of them like that. So it just, and it was cliquish, but I was still like admiring them dudes, and I didn't get to really get in all the way because the deal didn't last long. Like as soon as we got there, Jay and Dame was having their issues, and the deal went to shit. And then out of loyalty, we left with Dame because Dame brought us there.
Yeah.
So Dame Dash Music Group then over at
He
Def Jam?
created Dame Dash Music Group after Rockefeller.
Yeah.
They split.
Yeah.
And then we felt inclined to ride with Dame. Like, fuck it. Dame brought us, said we riding with Dame.
Yeah.
Kanye said, I'm riding with Jay. He's like, Kanye was really into Jay.
Yeah.
Like, as an artist, he felt a loyalty to Jay because he produced those records, and he felt those records made his career.
Yeah.
So he felt obligated to ride with Jay.
Yep.
I felt obligated to ride with Dame because he brought us there. That's just who I was. Like, I always took L's in life because of loyalty. That's just who the fuck I am. Whether it's a good or bad thing, that's how the good Lord wired me. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, and we went to Def Jam through Dame Dash Music Group.
Yeah.
Word.
Who were you working with over there? Shari Bryant?
What's ironic is that in the middle of that deal, Jay-Z took presidency.
Yeah.
So, and Jay's relationship with Dame remained the same. So that deal got fucked up before we even stepped a foot in the building. Before the ink could dry on that deal, it was over.
And then you're out looking for another deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was good is that because, like, remember back then they had those big power summits and shit like that
Yeah,
in Puerto
yeah.
Rico?
Yep.
So we went to Puerto Rico on a Def Jam budget to perform as a Def Jam artist. So because I performed for the whole fucking country as a Def Jam artist, we the lawyer made sure they cashed us out. You're like,
Wow.
yeah, you got to pay them because you just sent him across the fucking country to perform as a Def Jam
Wow.
artist, and now he gets back and the deal is gone.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, now you're not on Def Jam, but you just branded yourself as Def Jam to literally every DJ in the fucking country. So they cashed us out. So we still got a check out of it. So we're not feeling the absence of not having the infrastructure of a label, because I got like $70,000 or some shit. So I took that money, built a studio, became self-sufficient. I bought cameras, studio, everything I needed to be my own engine. I was like, fuck everybody, I'm doing this myself. Taught myself to use fucking Pro Tools, all that shit.
Okay. Being your own everything is very difficult.
Yeah.
Like writing for yourself, being your own promotional person, your own marketing person, your own, I don't know, maybe your own engineer, right? You're doing everything.
That ass.
How do you, who trust so many other people, who's loyal to so many people, how do you own that and just focus and not give up?
I'm not wired to give up. I don't know how to stop anything. I'm like, it's almost like it's like a gift and a curse, because I can't chill.
I mean,
I can't relax. Like, I'm dead ass.
That's half true, right? 'Cause
Like,
you gave up on medical school, right? Because you chose another thing.
Yeah, but I didn't give a fuck about that the way I cared about music.
Right.
Like, that was like, I didn't. And most kids that go to college don't know what the fuck they're doing. You're doing what you feel you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I felt I was supposed to do this.
Right.
I went and took the internship and working in a hospital as like interning in medicine, and I didn't like any of that shit. I was like, I don't want to be here. I'm walking to the hospital holding my breath like a germaphobe and shit. I was like, I can't do this shit forever. I would have been an unhappy doctor, though.
Right,
you know
right,
what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that's not what I wasn't passionate about that at all.
Yeah.
But if enough people say sorry, doesn't that take like a toll on you?
What do you mean?
Like, hey, sorry this deal didn't work out, or sorry that Dame and Jay are going through their stuff, but sorry, like, you know, Def Jam is moving in a different direction.
What's crazy? Nobody says sorry in this business. Nobody gives a fuck. So
Well, no, not,
like,
not
I know what you
like,
mean.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
So, but you just feel like you feel
Sorry,
you-
like Sia.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You feel a bit jaded though. Like, is there a black cloud over me? Like, what the fuck is going on? You get that feeling for sure. But I just never. I always felt it was out of my control. I never felt like
Right.
it's me failing. It's not my music. It's
No.
not my talent. It's not a shortcoming. It's like happenstance.
Totally get that.
So that's how I felt.
Who's the person that you trust in then? That's not you, where you're like, yo, they see it. They can
I was with
hear
Chaz.
it.
Me and Chaz was riding all the way, so I trusted him like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So whether he knew what to do or not in those situations, I trusted him. You know what I mean? And then most times he did. Like, we still learn together, because this is trials. We never got each step we took. We're taking together. You know what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah.
it's not like we know how to be at Def Jam and have the label fall and know what to do like this, or be a Rockefeller, have a fall and know what to do. We have to learn what to do in these situations. We just never experienced it.
Yeah.
But we're still getting money and getting to the next phase and still making moves. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I'm still trying to be an artist, still making records, still doing my marketing, still doing my own publicist, engineering, setting my own photo shoots, videos, all of this shit. Like, all this is weighing on me.
Yeah.
But and it's weighing on him too, because every step I'm talking about grinding, like even like going out to the radio for the whole fucking weekend, he's right next to me.
Yeah.
He's orchestrating this shit. Like, he goes hard. You know what I'm saying? So it was us figuring this shit out.
So then how much did it, what was the conversation like when you guys did end up parting ways in like 2011-ish?
Hard for me, because it was more like, it wasn't like telling a manager you're walking away. It was like telling a father, like, I'm about to move out. That's what it felt like. You know what I'm saying? He's such a G. He took it real smooth. I think he might have saw it coming, but at that time, like, I was so down. Like, I was all the way in the street hustling. Still had records and shit on the radio. Wasn't making any music money. Just lost the house that I bought for my family. Like, lost the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had to leave that house and give it up because we couldn't afford it. It was way out of my price range, because my family convinced me, pressured me, like, don't you think you're gonna make it? Don't you think you're gonna be rich and famous? Get this house. It was like this fucking $1 million house. I'm like, this is like a Jay-Z level house. I don't need to be here.
Yeah.
It was way out of my fucking mortgage, without the tax included, was like $7,700 a month. The fucking lawn was $300 a month. I was like, I got $300 lawn to maintain. And then the roof is this. It was so expensive, and it was way too much for me to maintain that and invest in my career.
Yeah.
So we lose the shit. So technically we're homeless at my different family's house. I got twins, issue with baby mother. All of this shit's happened at the same time. And I said, yo, I got to try something different. I have to just change the energy in my life right now. Press reset on everything. Whoever I was dating, I broke up with her. I had to go my own way with him. I had to try everything over. 'Cause I was like, whatever I'm doing now in life, I am miserably failing at every aspect of it.
Yeah.
Everything was falling apart.
Well, but then you also like you have these like things that make you keep going forward, right? That keep propelling you, right? Like you even like small things, like somebody like Shia LaBeouf mentioning you on late night TV.
Crazy.
Or like, you know, when Drake, you know, calls you, like stuff like that, where it's just like, and that's around that time, I imagine, because 2011 was when he was, or maybe a little bit before, I guess.
Might have been before.
Yeah, but like
maybe it was the same time.
but like it's
might be right.
It's like these small like signifiers that are just like
That's
like
the
you're doing
thing.
the right thing,
Right.
Like I know that I'm talented. I know there's an audience out there. I know if I keep going, then like I can keep doing this. And then you have to, you know, you have to also realize that there's all these like shitty things that are happening around you.
Yeah.
And it's not your fault that the Def Jam thing didn't work out, and it's not your fault that the Rockefeller thing didn't work out.
Right.
Like you have to understand that in that moment, right?
And I kind of did, but I still, the kind of person I am, I'm always going to blame myself regardless. So I was like, okay, whatever the issue is, maybe you're the common denominator. I don't fucking know, but I just knew I had to make a change and it had to be drastic.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to press reset on everything and try this shit again. Because at that point, technically, I'm homeless at this point. Like,
Right.
Mom Dukes is on the floor, on the couch. Kids are on the floor. Baby mother's on the floor. Like, we're all over the fucking place. This shit is not successful. And I'm trapping a million miles a minute. I remember being in VA with all kind of shit. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? That was like a defining moment for me too. I was out there and I remember like praying like, what am I doing in the trap? I got a song on the radio. I'm out here with everything. And I done drove from New York to VA with the shit. And I'm like, I said, God, if you get me out of this, I swear I'll just figure out something different.
So a little change from the kid who was, you know, shooting, thinking that there's going to be no consequences at 18.
Now it's all consequences.
Now it's all consequences.
Right.
But that's
And
also like what comes with fatherhood problems.
I have twins
Yep.
in the crib, a song at radio. Man, I'm running around with every drug you could think of. I'm like, nah, you doing a lot wrong, bro. And it's to the point where I'm hiding that too, because I was too ashamed to even tell people I was still in the street because I'm supposed to be this star in my hood.
Right.
I'm still going outside and still famous in the hood. Every step it's oh shit, it's Graf, what up, what up? Dude's still taking pictures, autographs and shit. Meanwhile, I'm going through all this other shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I gotta figure this shit out. So I had to reset everything that I could possibly reset. I just had to do it and figure out, take 10 steps back, take 10 steps forward. I had to.
Did you self-manage or did you find somebody else to come in to fill that role?
Well, I kind of self-managed, and I have my partner, Max Wayne, who's still here. He was there from the beginning. So he kind of learned under Chaz how to be the best manager he could be. You know what I'm trying to say? We learned together every step of the way. Even to this day, we don't know it all still. We still learning. Y'all might could look at my career and see holes in it and be like, we're still learning.
Well, but also
Still students.
I look at your career and I think like the resilience like is super impressive. The fact that like so you re-team up with Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. You know, you cap off the trilogy that you didn't imagine was going to be a trilogy.
Dead ass.
You have I imagine through him you get Benny and Conway on there.
Nah,
You already had those relationships?
Yeah, remember that.
Oh, right, you were at the show.
I was, we already had the song. Me and Benny already had that song done.
Yeah.
Was I performing it? He brought me on his set to perform that song a few times. I don't know if it was one of those. I don't remember what show it was, but we were already rocking out.
Yeah. Well, how did you link up? I mean, so how did you get in with all of Griselda?
I always gravitate towards the street dudes. We identify with each other. So I got cool with them early. When they were first, I met them on tour with Royce. I went on Royce's
Yep.
tour.
How wild is that, by the way?
Crazy.
Like to grow up like just idolizing the way that he flows.
Royce is like my favorite dude. So to be on the tour, and I was the only one on, it's not like it was a bunch of artists, just me and him on the road doing the whole fucking country. For me, that's amazing. That was like a big milestone for me.
Yeah.
And he's one of the only rappers, if not the only one, who ever invited me on a tour.
Wow.
Like I've been on one other tour previously, and I was in the beginning of my career with Lyricist Lounge and Scarface, which is amazing too.
I
was
bet.
straight out of college, straight out the hood. I was wildin', straight up,
Yeah.
wildin'. But that was my first tour, and no other rapper ever invited me on a tour. And then he brought me on this tour, so I learned a lot just watching him, how he works, how he moves, and learn how to tour. And learn what not to do too. I went on tour with like 8 dudes. That shit is expensive.
Yeah.
I can show you in receipts. It cost me about 50 racks in receipts.
You
Never
brought
mind
8 dudes.
I brought 8 dudes. Never mind the cash outside of in receipts. It was like 50 racks that we spent. I was like, oh no, I got to figure this shit out.
There can't even be 8 jobs for them to do.
Yeah, what,
You know what's
what
funny?
Was the
There
smallest
was.
thing
There
they- No.
One was a driver.
Yeah.
One was a cameraman. One is a DJ. One is a manager. That's 4 dudes right there.
Yeah.
The other 2 were artists, and they managed my merch.
Oh my god.
So I was 8th person. So for 7 dudes.
Yeah.
So everybody was busy as fuck, but it was expensive to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be at a certain level to bring 8 motherfuckers around the United States.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Somebody around here can multitask. You know, like
Hell yes. I learned that the hard way because everybody got to eat. You need multiple hotel rooms.
maybe that somebody's you.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I'll starve. Fucking give me rice cakes.
But I guess, relationships must. I mean, we know this for a fact. Relationships mean everything in this business.
Yeah, absolutely.
That must have paid off for you through the years, right?
Yeah, Royce is a homie now, man. Like I fuck with Royce.
Yeah. Also,
Heavy.
Bun.
Bun, yeah.
Bun is my big bro.
I'm saying, same here. And
Bun is on every project I ever dropped. People, I don't know if people realize that. Bun is on every
Yeah, I was
fucking
going through and I
graph
was
project.
like, Bun.
And-
We got like 20 songs.
Yeah.
And for good reason, you returned the favor on that Static project.
Absolutely.
So
That was a
I
blessing.
don't know if you know this, but I believe we were standing next to each other in that session.
That's a fact, yeah.
When Joe was there, when Fat Joe shows up,
Right.
and just like destroyed the booth, and then
was
was
dope.
like, "I'm gonna leave." Nope. I'm gonna do a hook too, and we're all in there, and like Michi from Flatbush Zombies, and we're all just sort of just like, "What is this moment to live?"
Wasn't
showed
that a
up, and
crazy ass fucking moment though?
was-
Let's reflect on that for 2 seconds.
It was insane.
That was like, to me, like the hip hop version of Summer Jam. That shit was fucking crazy.
So
Wait, the hip hop version of Summer Jam.
Like extra hip hop,
Oh, okay.
like underground, niche ass
Yeah,
hip hop,
yeah,
hip hop
yeah,
version
yeah,
of
yeah.
Summer Jam. Yeah, like that was like crazy.
it was more parking lot than the parking lot.
Yeah,
like,
There you go. Yeah, that's the way to say it. Yeah.
Yo, so I went down there just to like take it all in, right? So I didn't want to be on the title cameras and all that, right? Because they were live streaming it, and
Right, you're not about the fame.
no,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah, I
Just
dig
$2,000 sweaters. So I was in the actual like recording room, right? Not like the green room, not the booth, but like the in between room, and it's me and like Queenie, and I'm just
Bun's wife.
Yeah, I'm just sort of standing, behind the door, or whatever, and in walks Fat Joe, who was just watching on the live stream, and he sits down and he writes longhand his whole verse as the beat's just on loop, and I'm sitting there, and I was just like, what the fuck am I experiencing right now, right? And like, he's like, we don't say anything to each other. We don't know each other at the time. That was the first time actually meeting in person that night. And so he just looks behind and he goes, what's a better word for wall? And I'm just like, oh shit, like this right here is
This
my
is your,
moment.
It's your moment.
Yeah. And so I'm like, and for whatever reason, maybe I was just caught up, but I was just like, drywall. And he was like, probably something that doesn't rhyme. I was like, fuck. Right? And someone else walked in and they were just like,
Sheetrock.
Sheetrock. And I was like, God damn it, sheetrock. Like,
Right,
yes,
right,
that's
right.
exactly right. Anyway, blew my moment then. But, and we're cool now, which
Right,
is
right.
great. Well, Joe
You
and I
are
are cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never met Joe.
Yeah. So every time we're together and Jeff's just like,
I'm
trying
also
to like
here, yeah.
get into the conversation, it's
But-
never a good time to introduce
Yeah,
him.
but Joe and Eric are like best friends, and then there's also me,
But-
who looks like the creep, like 3 feet behind, just like hi.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. No, but Joe tore it down, and it was so dope because it was organic.
That's dope.
And he just pulled up and he wrote, and just like everyone was doing that night, Dizza and
Yeah.
Method Man, and
Fucking crazy.
just the list was long and impressive and so much fun because it's in a small space. It's like the Baseline days, It's
Yeah.
like everyone's not emailing, not like doing it. It's just making
Real
it
deal.
there in 11 hours or whatever it was. And you were there.
Yeah,
So you and Bun are like super tight.
definitely.
How did you guys first cross paths?
I met Bun probably through Scarface, I think, because Scarface wanted to sign me in the beginning too. Back then when I signed with Sony, Scarface offered me the first deal, but back then, the signing to independence wasn't the wave.
Yeah,
And these companies was throwing so much money at me, and I was so young and didn't know what I know now. Then I would have took the Scarface deal 10 times over any amount that any label would have gave me, because he said it like, listen, I can't offer him what what Sony's gonna offer him, but I can tour him through the whole South and break him out there. I didn't know what that meant back then. Imagine a New York dude like me touring with Scarface in like 2003, 4.
Yeah, but
I would have been out of here.
But to be fair, it's easy to say that now, right?
Yeah, I
Back
didn't
then
know.
It's just like, no, New York, like, no, we're it.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't know.
You're fire out in New York, right? Like, you're running New York.
Yeah, but then also like.
But
those
it's a
might have been,
Scarface,
tough-
though.
No,
Yeah,
no,
but
it's
they
a
would have been like
Scarface.
tough crowds though, because like.
Nah, cause we did a few shows on the tour and it was all good. Like if Scarface co-signs you, motherfuckers is like whatever he says, we riding with that. Anywhere in the country.
I think it would have set you apart. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Because like I think that you came up at a time where again New York was popping, and there were a lot of New York guys.
Yeah, Papoose is signing with Slay.
Yep.
But nah, but what you're missing is if Scarface brings you on the road at his
I'm-
show,
I'm
and says,
following you.
Listen
Yeah.
to this dude.
Yeah.
The crowd gonna be like, all right, let's go. You got him. Because any city he did that in, like, all right, I'm bringing Graph. He's standing there saying, listen to this.
Right.
They
And I see what
you
he
got
was
their
thinking,
attention.
by the way, in terms of like
I'd have been-
wordsmith, like, yeah.
Bro, I
Yeah.
would have been out here. Remember how Nelly came out and went diamond because he did all these tertiary markets
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
had the whole country in the palm of his hand?
Yeah. I mean,
I
that's
would have
all- yeah.
I would have been an East Coast dude with that same kind of power.
Well,
if
real-
I understood what that meant
Real
back
quick.
then. That's what he was saying, but I didn't get it.
Over the course of your career, like, New York's your number one market, but what's
Yeah.
like your second or third that might be surprising? You're just like, yo, my shit rings off in like Memphis or like, you know,
DC and London.
DC and London.
Yeah, I went to London. I was like fucking Jigga Man out there. It's fucking amazing. I was like, oh shit. I'm talking about dudes running out the store where they work. Yo, bro, it's fucking rough, bro. It was serious.
That's dope.
London, they give a fuck about bars. Heavy. Shout out
Yeah.
to London. Shout out to the UK. They
Japan
fuck
does
with,
too.
Oh, Japan too. I went to Japan. It was retarded.
Do you do-
retarded in Japan? I did 2 days in Japan with Dame, as a matter of fact. That shit was crazy.
What is it like traveling through Japan with Damon Dash?
That's another funny story. He gave me 2 edibles, right? Cookies. And said, don't eat both of these. I was like, I got this, nigga.
Ooh.
I got this, nigga. You wild. I got this. I ate both of them shits.
Good, another smart decision.
Bro.
yeah. Shout out to your
15
medical, you know.
15 hours later, I was high as fuck.
Oh, no.
I couldn't even function. As soon as he was high too,
You were
though.
like, I'm in Japan.
You sure? It's Chinatown? Manhattan? I was out of my mind still. He was high too. As soon as we landed, there's mad cameras in our face, interviews and shit. We mumbled
took it on the plane?
Yeah, we took it and they got on the plane.
Yeah.
Like JFK, we just bust that shit down, got on the plane.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Slept the whole flight like a baby.
Yeah.
As soon as
yeah.
I landed, I was like, oh, I'm high as fuck. I was high as fuck in Japan. But he was too, though. We neither one of us could figure out a goddamn thing. And we walked right into the cameras and interviews and shit. I was like, oh, damn, I'm glad y'all speak English. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I was mumbling a bunch of nonsense. I promise you. So, yeah, that was my experience flying to Japan with Dame Dash.
So this new project has super heavy hitters on it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of bars and a lot of storytelling and a lot of fire.
Thank you.
I think that there's a lot of it's cool now. The pendulum swings, right?
Right.
And it's cool now to spit, you know? Or it's always been cool, but I'm saying like it's more accepted in the larger, you know, listening community.
Right.
Because it's, you know, for example, look at Griselda, right?
Right.
Like they're winning off bars. You come out now, you never, even though you might have, you know, had label pressure to change your sound, you never changed. You're always you.
Nah.
You went through a lot of situations. You've always remained the same. Do you feel like the tide is turning? Do you feel like a lot of good energy is around this project right now?
When I first came out, hip hop and bars were in style, and I was having fun. A couple years after that, New York lost its identity. Nobody gave a fuck about hip hop, and for me, it was miserable. This shit felt like a fucking job. I was not having fun. This is the first time in my career since the beginning that I'm actually having fun with the business. The fact that hip hop and bars are in style, I am fucking ecstatic. I am happy I could shed a tear. I am happy as shit.
Everything's hitting at the same time.
Bro,
Yeah, the timing
hip hop,
feels so right.
hip hop is in style again, and I happen to know how to rap.
Yeah.
This shit is amazing. I am on cloud 9. You understand? Like, business wise, like I never saw a way to really make, for me, real money with music, hip hop, until now.
Oh, and indie is in style too, by the way.
Bro, this shit is
Ownership,
amazing. I'm like,
yeah.
the clouds open up. This shit is, I am elated. I am very happy.
Yo,
like,
what-
I'm smiling every day. I'm like, oh, I could just rap. I don't got to do none of this extra ass shit and all this politics in my way. All I have to do is just rap and make music.
Yo, no, but
Bro,
okay, looking back now,
it's different.
What do you think about that Graf
Mm.
who was in Virginia? That Graf who didn't have a house anymore. That Graf who, felt the pressure to go walk, the block and people recognize him for a certain thing, but know that there's like darker shit, just around the corner.
Right.
Like, what do you think about that time?
I think, I guess I had to go through that to become the me now. Like, I'm super resilient. I will never quit at anything I want to do. I will always tell people, whatever you dream of, do it. Because you're not going to have a happy life without it. You're going to be 40, 50, 60, doing whatever the fuck you felt you had to do and be miserable as fuck. And that same energy is going to get passed on to your kids and your wife and the people around you. And like, nah, do what you want to do. Or do it till you fail at it. Who gives a fuck? Do what you want to do. Because it's your life. You live it once. You know what I'm saying? And I lost a lot. And I made it back. Only thing you really lose is time. That money ain't about shit. Money it doesn't mean anything. It's a different color in every fucking country. It means nothing. You got to do what you want to do. Whatever you feel is fulfilling to you. Do that shit. That's all that fucking matters. Mm-hmm. And I learned that through all those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, get what you want out of this life. Don't feel obligated to be trapped in any situation because you're not. You can fuck your whole life up doing it for other people. Because I always put other people first. I can't even help it. But at some time you have to say, let me check on my glass of water. Is it half empty? Is it half full? Is it fucking empty? Because if your glass is fucking empty, you can't pour into somebody else's. And people are like, think about you on an airplane. They say, put your mask on first, then take care of the child. Because you'll put the child's mask on first and fucking die.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to take care of yourself and really do what fills your glass up. And I had to learn that through all those trials and tribulations.
Well, who do you do this for?
I would say my family and my friends, people that I care about. Kids, moms, my friends, my people that are close to me.
Do you do it for Queens?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Queens and New York City, definitely. They on my back.
Yeah.
I have to do it for the borough and for my city. Like, I feel what I mean to the city is important. I'm like the last one of this, from the era and of the dying breed of hip hop, because people didn't give a fuck about bars for like a decade.
Yeah.
Here. Like, the new rappers that grew up here, they grew up on Atlanta music in New York. It's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you grew up and you're like 25 now and you rap, I'm not expecting you to sound like Nas or Jay-Z or Royce because you grew up on Atlanta music in New York City. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else would your influences be? New York lost identity until a few years ago. We just started rapping again. I've been rapping the whole fucking time. You know what I'm saying? But the city lost its identity mainstream-wise. The streets was always the same, but we were getting ignored.
Yeah.
There were times, career-wise, where all us New York rappers that like weren't at the forefront, but like bust our ass out here, would be in the club with other superstars from other cities. Let's say like a Ross or a Meek or whoever, do some different cities, and the DJs would shout out the out of towners more than us. And I was mad as fuck. Like, bro, we here. You wildin'. Like, if you're a DJ, like if I'm in Atlanta or LA or Florida or Tennessee, them DJs in that city gonna make sure that I know where the fuck I'm at. They're gonna make sure they rep their artists, they play the music, they're gonna be dropping bombs. They're gonna make sure that us out of towners know where the fuck we're at.
Yeah.
When we lost our identity here, we were the only city that were embracing out of towners more than our own. And I was fucking livid.
Well, especially because
You know what
those
I'm saying?
DJs were the same guys who helped build your career. And so then it's just like, oh, now you're in the clubs.
They kind of didn't. My shit was made in the street. They didn't really support. Only one on the radio that really support was Slay.
Well, I was thinking more mixtapes.
Nah, this is like the mainstream guys who run the nightlife. This is they mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
They were more concerned with playing and leaning towards the out of towners rather than embracing their own. So if you were from out of town, you felt you definitely were bigger than the artists here because the DJs in the system here is making sure of that.
What was your relationship like with Flex?
It's cool. He don't really. I mean, he supports a little bit. You know what I'm trying to say? But he doesn't embrace it to the point where it's like I'm putting Graf on the forefront.
Right.
Definitely not. He ain't doing that. I ain't even do his mixtape series yet. The freestyle shit.
Yeah.
every time he does it, I'm like, don't skip me.
Yeah.
You had the same artist like 3 or 4 times already. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I guess, whatever. Maybe I don't know. I
Can
know
you
what
still go for 50 bars like you did at Kanye's place?
I'm gonna go for 100 bars at Flex, but I'm like, Flex, what you doing, nigga? Like, all right, whatever.
Listen, if you want to do it right now,
yeah. Just
Eric will
100 bars.
beatbox.
Yeah.
I'll be dope, actually.
Yeah.
But
It's fine. You would be great. That would not be. Sorry, but it's very kind of you.
Yeah.
But I care about New York and hip hop here and what it means to the world. This is New York City, and I gotta embrace that. I was mad. I ain't gonna front, but I never went out and attacked the DJs or said anything negative. Because some DJs do care about the culture and do care about New York City. Some of them didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the ones that did, more power to you. I definitely commend you and tip my hat to you.
Yeah.
Clue plays New York radio.
Yep.
New York fucking, even though he ain't playing my records all day, but he'll fucking play Locks and a bunch of New York shit all day.
Yeah.
Flex just started playing New York shit again, which is great. Because he helped. Remember when Trinidad James said
Yep.
Yeah.
he came to New York and I sound like Atlanta?
Yep.
Everybody got mad.
Yep,
Around that
yep,
time,
yeah.
New York put their foot down. I was like, fuck that. We embracing New York again. And then Flex got on his shit.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad they back on their shit. Because
Yeah.
we was off the fucking reservation for like a decade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's New York, man.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Fuck that. It's New York.
Well, I have one more question, which is, as a almost medical professional, what can you advise people to do for the coronavirus?
Die.
Yeah, there you go. Smart. Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yo, well, Graf, congratulations on this new project.
Thank you.
Congratulations on making it through a career where you had to make a lot of tough calls, you know, and
Right.
But listen, out of all those tough calls, the greatest call was Busta Rhymes to your mom.
That was dope.
Yo,
Word.
thanks so much for coming through.
Nah, thanks for having me, man. This is dope.
No doubt.
Appreciate y'all. Word.
Help me ease this pain.